Here with Ryan from Rode. They're showcasing the Rode Interview Pro. This is the new audio capture device for in the field for basically anything if you're a reporter style. So walk us through exactly what this thing has.
Right on. So this is the Rode Interview Pro. It is a handheld interview microphone that is compatible with the entire Rode Series 4 range of wireless receivers. So Wireless Pro, Wireless Me, Wireless Go, even the Rodecaster series and the Streamer X. But it also has some really amazing tricks on the microphone itself. First of all, it records on board. So this is a standalone interview microphone that records onto the unit, and it records in 32-bit floating point. So for those who are unfamiliar with 32-bit floating point audio recording, it's basically a huge problem solver for setting the right level, especially when you don't know how loud or how quiet the person that you're interviewing is going to be. So if I was super loud or if I was super quiet, usually that would be a problem for gain staging and setting your right gains. But by having a 32-bit floating point recording directly on the mic, you've captured the entire dynamic range of the capsule. It means you're never going to clip, you're never going to have a noisy signal from somebody being too quiet because it caters for both of those situations.
So you have an Omni capsule on here. Walk us through exactly why that's so important on an interview mic.
So in any interview scenario, often you'll be turning the microphone, between the two, different people that are speaking. And typically with a good interview microphone, you actually want an Omni capsule. And there's a couple of good reasons for that. First of all, you can have the microphone just sat, directly in between the interviewer and the interviewee, but it also actually caters for when you do move the microphone around. If somebody starts speaking as you've kind of moved the microphone, with any directional microphone, you have a level drop off as well as a tonal change. So in post-production, when you're trying to correct for that, if you've, for instance, if I ask you a question, you answer, I start moving away and you keep, kind of talking, on a directional microphone, that's a big problem because it changes the tonality as you kind of roll off on that polar pattern, as well as dropping the level. Whereas with an omnidirectional mic, all you got to do is compress it in post-production and your audio is perfectly balanced out of the box.
And this thing records on board, as he said before, but also it records a lot on board, and that 32-bit float, when you take it off, it's already taken care of with all the peaks, right?
So basically, the way that it works is you can record over 40 hours of uncompressed 32-bit float recording on board. The battery life is over 20 hours, so you can be able, any interview scenario where you're out for a whole day, multi-day shoots, all that kind of stuff is totally fine. And what you actually get, there's two different ways that this microphone works. One is that it's recording the raw signal in 32-bit floating point, which means you've got all of your dynamic range. And what we've done is we've set a nominal gain there. But if you need to correct it, you can just simply normalize that file if it was a peak, or even if it was too low, and it'll just automatically come back to the perfect gain range for whatever the source was. But it also has gain assist technology. So just like the Wireless Pro, the Wireless Me, gain assist is basically an automatic dynamic range adjusting setup so that it prevents peaks. It can also even adjust the level to bring up someone who's a little bit quiet when it sends the transmission to the receiver. So we've got a Wireless Pro receiver on the camera right now, and it's getting the gain assist output of the microphone. So while we can't transmit 32-bit float over the air to the receiver, we're already controlling the dynamics of that signal before we send it over. So it just works. That's the main thing here. Like, although it sounds really complicated, you turn on the microphone, hit record, and have the receiver paired, it just works.
It is unbelievably easy. Thank you very much, Ryan. We're at the Rode booth through B&H down here at N.A.B 2024. See you in the next video.